morning, guys. So, since we've opened the store, I've actually heard a lot of comments about how well the store is set up and how people wish I could come to their house and set up their house. Even other retailers have come in and kind of joked about me coming there to like set up their store for them. But I have like simple sort of guidelines that I follow to make vignettes around the store and how to make it look. I know this is such kind of like a weird term, but like Instagrammable. So it's small kind of vignettes or areas that it's a perfect picture. So there's certain things that I do. I sort of have like 9 rules that I sort of follow, and I'm going to get into those one by one with you. All right. So we're going to start with number 1, vases. So in every like Instagram post that you see of like a really beautiful home or dining room or like a part of someone's home, there's always flowers. There's constantly flowers or a vase with like things in. So I always recommend having a small selection of different size vases. So tall, short, stubbies, and kind of like even a nice bowl can be a vase. If you come along like flower frogs, those are the things that go in vases that give you like little spacing for flowers to go. Those are really great because then it's easy and you don't have to know anything about arranging. You can just put the flowers in there and let them like fall to one side or just kind of set up. And yeah, flowers. Different, like a collection of different size vases. That is my first tip. Because if there's a boring spot, you can always put a small vase with a couple little flowers and it's that little touch. And I have flowers everywhere in this place. And I have tons of vases of different shapes and real flowers too. Like a pot would also work. So that was number 1 tip. Tip number 2. Lighting. Oh geez, have I ever, I have been into so many homes that have the worst lighting, and they have done a great job decorating, but there is no lighting. There's no lighting for the art. They spend a lot of money on art. They don't light the art. You don't really see the art. Your eye, when you walk into a room, automatically follows the light. So if there's no lighting, or if it's really dark or dungy lighting, you're not going to see the things that you spent all that time picking out or selecting, and all the money you spent on those things. You can't see it because there's no light. So, and like light kind of works like greenery or like a vase. This would be a really boring vignette without the lamp. It's not like space consuming. Lamps could be very thin and very minimal, very modern. This one's very traditional, but you can have, even on my front desk, look up behind me, I have 2 huge lamps because I want people to see this is the front desk. This is where you want to come. And it's lighting, it's lamps, it's lighting. You want to direct people to where you want their eye to go. So when people come in here, you walk down the hallway and this little lamp is on top of this cabinet, and a lot of people stop and look at this little vignette because of the light. So that's my second kind of tip. Lighting. Make sure you light what you buy and buy good lighting. Okay, tip 3, mirrors. So if you have a small space or even a dark space, like I was just saying about lighting, to like light the areas. Well, if you don't have space for a lamp or a table to put a lamp on, or even a floor lamp, if you can hang a mirror on the wall, that is automatically reflecting light. And if it's a dark corner or like a dark space, or you just can't get lighting there, even if it's a big space, you can make it feel so much brighter and bigger by putting something on the wall. Or like this here is a hall tree that I have put in front of our electrical panel, and this kind of thing that we have to get to, but I don't want to build like a wall or put a door. So I put a mirror there because I don't want people to see it. It's a dark, kind of grungy area. So I put something with reflection. So the reflection is going to make it brighter. A lot of people don't even notice that that curtain is there with the hydro behind it, like the panel, because the mirror is there. And when they walk by, they're seeing themselves, not what's behind the mirror. So you can hide things, or you can mask how dark an area is by putting a mirror. And if you don't have a lot of windows, like if you have a small apartment and you don't have many windows, or there's only one wall of windows, the rest of the apartment gets pretty dark. So if you put mirrors up, even if they're small, just to reflect that little bit of light, you're going to notice a difference. So mirrors. Okay, next tip, baskets. One of my biggest sellers since I opened the store have been baskets. Baskets are like a girl's best friend sort of idea in home decor, because you can hide stuff in baskets, or you can use baskets to collect things. So things that you need every day, put them in a basket. Things that you want to hide, like kids' toys, baskets. If your husband likes it really cold in the house and the AC is cranked, or vice versa, your wife, you can have a basket beside the couch full of throw blankets, because you'll need them, or slippers. Beside the door, if you know you have a drafty old house, have a basket beside the door full of slippers. And when people come over and you can see that they're uncomfortable because your house is drafty, there's a basket of slippers they can choose from. And you can even have fun with it and have like handmade slippers, or like fun slippers with different like patterns and stuff on, or little animals. People love that. But baskets, they're my favorite. I love baskets. And you can kind of see here, we have so many baskets. I have baskets displayed everywhere around the store because I love them. And I don't, David actually bugs me about everywhere I go, I'm looking at baskets. He's like, don't we have enough baskets? We have so many baskets. There are baskets everywhere. But it's true, because everyone needs a basket to hide their crap. I know your stuff isn't crap, but everybody has just stuff. And it's like the open a drawer and kind of shove it all in. That's what baskets are for. And then you throw a little like throw on top of it. No one sees all your magazines or what you've been reading or all your remote controls. It's amazing. A basket, I'm telling you. Baskets are key. So this one's a little weird because it's not really a home decor tip. It's more of a how to make your home your home. So I see pictures all the time of these beautiful like architecture digest homes, and it's so modern and crisp and it looks gorgeous, but you can't tell anything about the people that live there. And maybe that's their plan. That's fine. But in the store here, what we've got a lot of comments on is how warm and funky and cozy it feels. To get that feeling, It's really two words: found objects. So, found objects, it's pretty wide. It doesn't really cover anything, but it's things that you've collected. So, it's if you went to Portugal and you picked up that vase and it's colorful and funky, that's a found object. You found that and it meant something to you, so you brought it home. Those need to be displayed in your home. It's who you are, your past, just everything about you is in the objects that you bring home. And if you just go to like Walmart and buy the vase that everybody else has, sure, it's a vase that you picked, but it doesn't have a story. You want items that when people come to your house, they see it and they know there's a story behind it. Like a weird, maybe Japanese fan, or a wooden object. Like if you went to the beach and you found a driftwood piece, that would be amazing on a table. And it's just not like everybody else's driftwood piece. That's your driftwood piece it's different from every other piece. So that's a story. Maybe you got engaged on that beach. Whatever happened on that day, or maybe it was just a really great day. That's a story behind that item. Or like, oh, I like really weird things. So like maybe like a crutch. If you had like that time you broke your leg like skydiving or something, and you kept your crutch, and the crutch was sort of beside your like blanket ladder, and people are like, why do you have a crutch? It's like, oh my god, so I was skydiving and blah blah blah. It's a story. It's like a conversation starter, and it doesn't have to be big. It can be like little glass, like sea glass that you picked up from the beach, or like a movie ticket. It's something, and that's where the trays come in. You can have a whole tray of little things that you've found objects, and have it like a collection. And they don't have to be like-minded. It doesn't all have to be like tickets or rocks or whatever. It can be just a collection of things. But on a tray, on your like living room coffee table, if someone comes in and they're like, oh, that's a really cool rock, and what's this movie ticket from, it's a whole like afternoon then of conversations. And then it starts like, oh my god, I went to that movie too, or I saw that concert too. It's something that shows people when they come into your home who you are. And it reminds you of those stories. So when you walk around your home, they don't have to be like everywhere, but just have a collection of those found items that really remind you of like those great moments in life. It just makes a difference. Adding that little touch of your personality to your home. It's your home, so make it your home. Don't be so generic. And I think that's why people really like some of the items here. I buy things with stories. And if I see someone and they pick up like a lantern, I'm like, oh my gosh, that lantern was in the barn of this old guy. And I tell them the story that he told me. And they love the story behind the item. So if they buy that item, that story is now theirs. So if they have that in their home, they can share that with people. And that's really like antiques. That's just stories. And yeah, so that's another tip for you. Found objects. Okay, so my next tip is a hard one for some people, because they don't have a lifestyle that matches being a plant parent. So if you work like 12 hours a day, or you live in a place that has no light, and you're not good with plants. Plants is the next tip. And I always lean towards real plants, but I'm an advocate for fake plants too. So I think, and I brought this up a little bit when I was talking about different vases, greenery just makes an area. If I am unsure about a setup, I will add some greenery, and it just adds that final touch that it needs. That even if it's fake greenery, it's that little bit of green or that little bit of like life in a vignette or a shelf or somewhere. It just adds so much to it. So in the store here, I really do have a mix of real and fake plants. And honestly, it's really funny because I have the mix. Some of them, some of my fakes look so real that people touch the real thinking that they're fake. And they're not sure, so they have to like do a little squeeze test of the leaves to make sure. So a lot of my succulents have little fingerprints on the leaves, which is really bad for the plant, but I find it really funny because I have a mix and people don't know if they're real or not. So I'm just going to show you the table here behind me. And I really do have like a mix of fake plants on the table. And then right at the end, I have the big one, and it's a real plant. And nobody believes that it's real. On the bookshelf here, I have these hanging like vines with the fake like gold. And like almost every, over here, I have my fake fern. Over here, I have fake grass mixed with real plants. Up here, fake plants. I have them everywhere. I even have like a dead tree. I've got branches and I've hung stuff off the branches. Even the branches, even though it's not greenery, mixed with the little bit of green beside it, it really adds like that outdoorsy kind of life feel. So yeah, I really encourage real plants, but if not, like you could do a beautiful bouquet of fake plants. Like this gets lots of light here, and I could probably have a real plant, but because it's a vase for sale, I didn't want to put a real plant in it and have like dirt or water kind of mess up. So I use the fake plants. And I do them at all like high, low. I have this one like hanging on the ground, and I wouldn't put a real one down there, afraid that someone would step on it and injure it and it wouldn't come back. So they're fake. But plants, I really encourage plants. Fake or real, just a little bit of green to really liven up an area. And you can go, like if you have a very modern style, like a fig leaf plant, like tree, would be amazing. Or the monstera. Like those are beautiful, large, or ficus. Like those are great in modern homes. So don't think that a plant would make it look like traditional or like farmhousey, or a beautiful orchid would look amazing in like a modern aesthetic, or even just like a few like bamboo leaves or banana leaves in like a vase. It looks great. So yeah, I think you can really bring in a little bit of green no matter what your style is. All right, so plants. Okay, next tip. It's an easy one. Books. Books are, you should have books. Everybody should read. I don't read enough, but I love books. I love the smell of books. I love the look of books. I love the look of old books. Books can be your like secret weapon in home decor. If you're trying to make like a good vignette, or you just don't have things at the right height and stuff, books. So you can put books underneath the bowl to like boost it up, kind of as a pillar. You can add books to a certain area for color, or you can add books to an area to If you have like two big things and you need some small things, little books, like sitting would be perfect. Books can be the decor themselves. So if you have some really large, like coffee table books about art or design, just those on your coffee table, perfect. Because then if someone's sitting there and they're waiting for you to make coffee or just waiting for you to get ready or whatever, they can flick through your books. It's something to do, and they're usually beautiful. Like, I know there's people out there, it's like, you should never take off the dust covers. But if your book has like a beautiful, like canvas, actual book cover, and there's a dust cover covering it that you don't like, take off the dust cover and put it in a drawer somewhere. Keep it, because you never know, like it'll be good to have in the future. But have that out. Like if you don't want a busy cover, usually the actual book cover is like a solid color, or it's like a silvery material or something. Yeah, sometimes they're even embossed with beautiful designs from the artist that the book is about or whatever. So yeah, books. I use books as like sort of like a hidden secret. I add books to everything. Even if I have something on a shelf, like these guys right here, they're very short. So if I put a book under there, even though you could see the top of the book, it would boost them up and they would be more visible. So like even me, like I should be using more books. You could also use like chunks of wood or something, but books are also useful. Like if you have like a chunk of wood or something like that, it's just a chunk of wood. But a book, you can always take that and read it or use it somewhere else. And in a kitchen, sometimes kitchens can be hard. And when I mean hard, like there's a lot of hard surfaces. The things in your kitchen are like metal or ceramic, and they're usually like clean, it's not textured. Well, adding books to your kitchen can give you that texture that you need, or that color and that softness. Like a couple cookbooks in a pile, even with like a plant on it, would look great and it would soften up your counter. So it's not just all stone or all wood or all ceramic or metal. It gives it some softness. Books soften an area or they boost an area. So that's the tip. Books. Okay. So like baskets, there's one more item that I think really helps you hide how much stuff you have, or like how much stuff you're using every day, and that's trays. If you have, let's say I mentioned in the basket thing that if you have remotes, you can put them in a basket. Well, if you don't want to have a basket like on top of your table or underneath your table, or you tried a basket and nobody can find the remote, you can have a tray. So if you have 2 or 3 remotes that you need to like live life or for lighting or TV or music, whatever, put them on a tray. Then it's a collection. I know that sounds silly because who would collect remotes, but we all sort of collect remotes. So if you have a tray on your ottoman or your coffee table or your side table and it just has like remotes, it doesn't look as bad. It's just sitting there kind of cluttering up the side table. The tray actually brings everything together and makes it cohesive. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So that works with everything. So you could even have bowls, and your bowls, you could have like fruit in bowls, but you have like 2 or 3 different bowls of fruit. Well, together they might look okay, but if you then collect those bowls onto a bigger tray, it makes it all one unit and it doesn't look as cluttered. The eye sees the tray first, and then the bowls on the tray are all one thing. So it's less for your eye to see. It's seeing one item instead of the 3 items. Even though there's an extra item there now, you now have 4 things, it still makes it look like one because it's collected. So I'll show you what I mean. So right here, I have these 3 bowls. And when people come in, they see this as one unit. And this, I wanted to do that because these are like-minded things. So I wanted to have them as a collection, not individual. So when I put it on the tray, now it's one cohesive thing instead of 3 individual bowls. I hope that makes sense to everybody. And this works for tons of stuff. If you have books, you can put books on a tray. If you have plants, that's a great. If you have like 2 or 3 different plants, you can put the plants on a tray and it looks like one kind of greenery arrangement. Or if you have a bunch of little items, like you have a plant, you have a book, you have a candle, put all of those together on one tray and it becomes one thing and it doesn't look as busy. Try it. I'm telling you, it totally works. Trays. Okay, we're on our last tip. And a lot of people would go, okay, so I should tell you what the tip is first. So the tip is extras. So my extras are blankets, throws, pillows, like sheepskin, all of those extras that warm up an area. So if you had, and I talked about this a little bit when I was talking about baskets. If you have a basket beside the sofa full of like a beautiful quilt or throws or extra pillows, when your house is kind of in show mode, everything is in the basket. But when you want to get home and you want to like get comfy and really like just relax for the evening, you want some pillows. And especially if you have like a leather couch, you want to have pillows that you can come on and really get that warmth, because leather isn't always warm. So our throw, or like a hide of something to like throw over that you can sit on to really warm up the leather, especially if you have AC on or in the winter time. Definitely want to have something to warm up a leather seat. But I think cushions can actually add to your style too. So if you have a very neutral sofa, you can really make it your own by having colorful pillows or textures or different patterns to really bring in your style. Even though the couch is quote unquote boring by itself, you can really mix it up. So I'm just going to show you now, like this one's a little dramatic because it's a purple sofa, but it's an old sofa that was sort of boring, and then I mixed it up a little bit. So I added the fur, or the wool, sorry, not fur, and then the pillows. And I took the ivory color from the hide, or like the sheepskin, and kind of brought into the pillows, but I didn't want just plain pillows. I wanted something with some texture and some pattern. So I used the polka dots. So that's a very simple thing to do. Pillow covers are very cheap. Well, okay, not super cheap, but they're cheaper than buying new pillows. So if you have 2 or 3 or 4 inserts that are good quality inserts that you find very comfortable, because that's key. If they're not comfortable but they look good, it's not going to work in your home. You want it to be comfortable and look good. So spend money on like a really great fill, like a cushion fill, and then change up your cushions. So you might have like fuzzy cushions in the winter because you want it to be warm and cozy, And then maybe put something like a canvas or a texture or like a pattern for summer and bring in those summer colors. So you can use the same cushion and just get different covers. So you might have, like, after a couple years, a stash of cushion covers that you can really like mix and match from. And if you get tired of what your living room is looking like, it's looking dull, you're kind of bored of it, you're sick of the same old stuff, don't buy a new couch for thousands of dollars. Spend $100 on a couple new cushion covers and you have a new look. And if you pick up a new throw, or like I had the sheepskin, play with it. And it's easier to play when it's like tens of dollars rather than thousands of dollars. And if you're not sure if you like a certain color, like if you're thinking about getting like a green sofa and you're going from a neutral sofa, pick up a few green pillows and see how you feel about the color. Even if you have to like buy fabric that's the same color as the sofa that you want to buy, then get someone to make those pillows for you. It's going to cost $50 to $100. Make the pillows, see how you feel about the color, or get a throw in that color. And when no one's around, or like when you're walking around your house just doing your chores or whatever, have the throw over your sofa and see how you feel about like walking by the living room and seeing like a large chunk of that green color or that purple color or that yellow. So test yourself first to make sure if you spend the large quantity of money to get like a new sofa, that it suits what you're looking for. So use your extras to test things, because it's affordable enough that if you don't like it, you can resell it on Marketplace, or you can just go and put it in the cupboard and buy another one and try that. It's just way more affordable to do it that way than to make big steps and then to hate it in the end. So yeah, that's my tips. And that's what I do around the store that gets the most comments. So I play with an area too. Sometimes I set up in a whole spot or shelf or bookshelf, and I hate it. It just doesn't flow. It takes me a long time. Like, I play with piles of books. I play with candles. And candles, another really great extra. Make your home feel like home with a great smell. And they look great on a table. I wouldn't go any more than 2 candles, maybe 2 or 3 candles in different shapes. You don't want to overwhelm the space with smell or candles. And don't be afraid to burn your candles, please. I had a client years ago that she had the same candles for like 15 years because she spent so much money on these candles. She did not want to burn them. Please burn your candles. You bought them to burn your candles. All right, that's it for now. Bye, guys.
Everything I touch will break.